Hello and welcome to another episode of Panels and Bars, the show where we talk about all things geeky and all things hip hop. You are joined today for another episode by your hosts, BB Manic and Lizzie. Off to a great start. I'm really tongue tied.
It's fine. It's been a week.
And today, at Lizzie's suggestion, we've decided we are going to recommend some lesser recommended graphic novels because if you are new to this comic book thing and you ask people, you're always going to hear, you should try Watchmen, you should try The Dark Knight, you should try Sin City. And those are wonderful. But apart from the fact they kind of cater specifically to the superhero end of things, they are also recommended 1,000 times a day in every city in the Western world. So we thought we would give you some stuff which is slightly different. We're going to mess with different genres, and I can't speak for Lizzie. I do have some stuff from the big two, but I also have things from independent creators and independent companies.
I'm just going to check.
Yeah,
Do
hopefully,
I have from the big two?
no, we recommend you something
from
today.
The big two.
There you go. So Lizzie's all
I've
independent.
Got the others.
Amazing. So hopefully today we're going to recommend you something that you haven't heard, and you can go out and give it a try. And if you like it, tell your friends. So, ladies first, Lizzie, what's one of your first selections?
Can I talk about my favorite?
Go for it.
This is my favorite. So, Nail Biter. Okay. I want to tell everyone everything about this without spoiling anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, wish me luck.
Okay.
I'll put it this way. I keep spare copies of the trade paperback, the first issue of the trade paperback for this series in my flat. On the off chance that someone has showed a vague interest in wanting to read it, then I could just give it to them. Be like, please read it. Then when you finished it, you can come back and we can talk about it. That'd be amazing. Never happens, but...
Okay, I was about to ask how's that going so far, but hey.
One day someone will come back and say, oh, I actually read it. It was amazing. And I'll be like, yay! Finally, a friend who I can talk about it with. The premise is essentially a small town in Portland, Oregon called Buckaroo is the birthplace of 17 of the world's most prolific serial killers. Why? Are you intrigued? I don't know.
Of course, yeah, go for it. Does the book ever give you the answer, or is it just
but you have to wait until like volume 6 of the trade paperback.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Some little hints here and there. There's some little other bits there. The story essentially follows this sort of rugged, somewhat disgraced former police officer called Finch, who has been called by an investigative journalist friend of his going, I think I've worked out the secret of why Buckaroo has birthed all of these evil people out of it. You're never going to believe it. You've got to come down here. How quickly can you come here so I can tell you these secrets? And your face says you know exactly what's going to happen next. So exactly what you think is going to happen next. Finch goes down to meet up with his buddy Carol. He's like,
oh no,
Carol, where are you, bud? Bumps into the local sheriff. He's like, I'm looking for my mate. Have you seen him? She was like, yeah, I know that guy. He's been all around the place asking everyone and whatnot and have they. And he's like, okay, well, where is he? And she was like, oh, I haven't seen him in a while. And I'm like, mm-hmm. It then leads to Finch talking to the last person that Carol was investigating and discussing with, who is a chap whose last name is Warren. I think it's Edward Warren, whose serial killer nickname was the Nail Biter. Mm-hmm. His premise, his whole shtick was that he would target people who had bad habits of biting their own nails, and he would chew their fingers essentially down to the bone and then kill them, allegedly, because he was acquitted in court and is now back home in Buckaroo. Which is, everyone knows. I mean, everyone knows this guy has murdered a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. And he's just hanging out at home, you know. And anytime I'm just trying to find a page where it just sums up his attitude quite nicely. It's like, yeah, that's the vibe we get from Warren.
Mm-hmm. Nice and unsettling.
He's an unsettling kind of guy, but he's also a massive chuckle fuck, and he follows Finch around. Like, we're pretty certain he knows where Carol's gone and what's happened to him, but he's not telling anyone shit. And he just wants Finch to be his best buddy because he is he's a serial killer. He's a lunatic, and he just really wants a pal. And he's like, oh yeah, it's fine. Come on, Finch, we'll be friends. I'll help you with your investigation to find your friend. I certainly won't eat you. You know, it also, while we're trying to find out what's happened to Carol, and we're also working out why Finch is disgraced and why he's been kicked off the force, or at least suspended, I think. There's a little bit of intrigue on that one, a little bit of true crime drama thing, a little bit about how cops react when cops uncover corrupt police officers. Essentially, how the second someone with even like a tiny minuscule of morals gets entered into the American police force, they get essentially blown up like not mercury, what's the other one? Potassium in water. Like, moral compass drops and then it all explodes. And it's fascinating. I love it. The artwork is absolutely bonkers as well. I think it's
Give me
Williamson.
1 second. I'm going to pause you. Hold it there. I'm getting a phone call from my other half.
Okay.
There we go.
Where was I? Can't remember where I was. Yeah, no, the artwork's amazing. It's incredibly stylized. So I read Ghost. So the author of this originally wrote a series called Ghosted, which was early 2000s, I believe. Joshua Williamson. And when this was announced in previews back when I still worked in a comic book shop, I was like, oh, I have to read that. And I was just sort of waiting there, like waiting for the release time, and I'd be poking my mate who ran the comic book shop and be like, Rich, is Nailbiter out yet? Is it out yet? Is the first print out yet? I need the first. Is it out yet? He was like, no, it's not out yet. It's going to be out in April. And I'd be like, but I want it now. And I was so annoying. And then it got release got delayed, and then eventually when it started coming in, obviously I set up my standing order to get it when on like release every single time. So I had all of the single issues, and it's just like sitting there being like reading it through, and I'd be like putting it back in its bag and its board and folding it up, putting it in my short box at home, and then just sitting there unpatiently for the next issue. And then the second there were like the 6 single issues came out, and then they'd have the first trade paperback come in. I was like, I need the first trade paperback, Rich. When's the first trade paperback coming in? I need it now. Can you order me in one as soon as it comes in? So I was insufferable, but my goodness, it was so incredible. And read Nailbiter. I need more people to talk about this.
Okay, so first recommendation, find Nailbiter, read it.
Find Nailbiter and read it. It is really good. It's there isn't anything else like it at the moment. Like, I just reread the blurb on the back, and it's like it apparently combines the mystery of Twin Peaks with the thrilling horror of the film Seven. And
I was going to say, when you showed me that page, I got Seven vibes.
It's kind of similar. It's sort of, because it does, obviously it goes through all 17 of the Buckaroo Butchers, which is the name of the collective name for these serial killers born from Buckaroo. And they all very sort of hyper stylized. The sort of their modus operandum is very unique for each one of them.
Yeah.
And they change the art and the the creative style behind each one ever so slightly, depending on like their mood.
Is it the same artist changing their style, or is it different artists?
It's
amazing.
Same comic artist, but like, for example, there's a femme fatale character. I can't remember what her name is. There's a femme fatale character who essentially would find cheating men and then put them on leashes like dogs, and then eventually starve them to death in dog cages. Like, nice. That was her thing. And they changed it very slightly to almost a Cruella de Vil style, like skeletal, the 1960s Disney sort of Cruella.
Yeah, so kind of like more jagged edges, not so rounded,
like really harsh lines and very like pointed. And then there's one character who is unapologetically based on DC's villain, the Scarecrow. And it's sort of like very similar, but it's also got that roundedness to it, and it's got the curvation of the art style. And the shading goes from like the sort of normal shading that I'm gonna grab the thing. The standard shade, is that a spoiler page? It's a bit spoilery. I'm just going to use the first 3 pages. It's fine, because then it's not too. I'm just really no, not that one. That's really. Oh my goodness!
We'll just have to blur it out.
We'll just blur it out if there's a big old spoiler on it. We'll go back to this one I showed you here. You've seen this one. So as you could like the shading lines, but they changed it to much more like cell shading, like a
Cool.
little bit more like Borderlandsy, just to like bring out sort of like the nightmarish, almost cartoony aspect of this guy being a supervillain almost.
Nice.
But they're just not. There's no. They're just serial killers, or are they? It's like there's nothing supernatural going on, or is there? You know,
Ooh,
it's
nice.
exactly.
Okay, so nail biter. And I will use the link of Seven because the book I'm about to recommend was
Uh-huh.
very nearly turned into a film by David Fincher.
Mm,
It is The Goon. So for those that don't know, and by the way, I know there's going to be a bunch of like Gen Zers in the comments. Goon didn't mean what it means to you now in my day, okay? A goon was a henchman, it was a thug, okay? Take your mind out of the gutter. Um, yeah, but so the goon, a goon was your typical henchman, your heavy,
the hired
um,
thug.
hired thug.
Yeah.
And this title follows a hired thug who lives in a town that has a zombie priest, zombies, weird creatures, all kinds of manner of Sasquatch. In fact, one issue even guest stars a certain Hellboy, and Goon himself is into all manner of illegal activities, including smuggling pork. He loves to smuggle pork. That is not a euphemism for anything. And it's just this weird, wonderful world. It's written and drawn by an incredible artist called Eric Powell, who clearly just grew up on not only 1950s gangster movies, but the artwork of Jack Kirby and weird serials. And so he just puts all of that into a blender and it's just ridiculous. And a lot of it is really crude and immature, but beneath that is a real heart and this real story of someone who has been through tremendous trauma and just puts on this front and creates this wall so that he never has to feel that pain again. And one thing that is amazing is like each kind of it's almost got like a Saturday morning cartoon vibe where like you could just give anyone any issue and they'd be able to pick up, they'd understand the character straight away, they understand what's going on, they understand the world, like the world is so well realized. But one thing that was really interesting for me was from the start they hint about Chinatown, something heavy happened in Chinatown,
Okay.
and the longer it went on, unlike a lot of readers, the less I wanted them to actually reveal, because I feel like whenever you have characters that have this amazing chapter in their lives that gets hinted at, that chapter never lives up to the hype.
Yeah.
So I did not want them to explore Chinatown. I always wanted to just be this thing that was never spoken about. And for like a good decade, they didn't touch Chinatown. And then one day, Chinatown. And without spoiling anything for anyone, Chinatown more than lives up to the hype. Chinatown is incredible. The Goon is incredible. Um, and it's funny actually because the first page of Chinatown says, "This ain't funny," because a lot of the Goon is very very stupid, very goofy. Chinatown is the one kind of really serious chapter of his life where he went through a lot, but it shapes who the Goon is as a person. And non-spoilery pages for those who are going to be watching the visual version of the podcast. It's just gorgeous. It's just really like the Goon is a real face only a mother can love. He's been through a lot, but he's just got this massive characteristic jaw, and he's got a sidekick called Frankie, and Frankie is just these insane massive eyes, this weird shaped head. We love Frankie.
Oh my goodness, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Frankie's catchphrase is knife to the eye because if you make him angry, that is what you will receive. Um, but yeah, The Goon is for me the best independent book ever written. That's not about superheroes. It might be the best independent book ever written ever. But yeah, it's from Dark Horse. I don't even know what volume they're on now. I didn't stop collecting, but I just kind of slowed down after I think about the 10th collection.
Mm.
Yeah, read it today. It's amazing.
You just run out of bookshelf space, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a little bit behind on a few things, and I'm just like, I think I'm just gonna need another bookcase first
Yeah.
before I just like weed things out. I've got some things that are a bit deplorable. I should probably get rid of. I'll link my eBay here. All right. So I was looking at the what was the Frankie?
Yes.
So like the stylization and the angles of him, it's like almost Crumb like Victor Crumb, the guy who did worked with Bakshi to do Fritz the Cat.
Oh, Robert Crumb, yeah.
Yeah, Rupert Crumb. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so
Yes,
it's interesting. Like I said, so there was going to be a movie. David Fincher tried to get funding. He just could not get funding. Paul
oh,
Giamatti had actually signed on as the Goon. Um, and there's you can find it now if you Google the Goon screen test. Uh, they actually did a test scene which was produced by Blur Studios, who did Love, Death, Robots for Netflix. They did the original version of Deadpool before it became what it became.
mm.
And it's fantastic. It's just like it's a perfect translation from page to screen. But for some reason, they just couldn't find. I mean, it's insane. You have Paul Giamatti, one of the creative minds behind Deadpool. You have the director of Seven, and yet somehow a studio did not want to bankroll it. So it's insane. But yeah,
Like that sounds like a recipe for success. Like I
right?
can't unless there's for some reason they're trying to pull like some sort of producer scam where they put as much money as they can into a flop. I can't fathom why they wouldn't
Yeah, but I
want
mean,
especially.
we live in a day and age when there've been two studios that have shelved Gorillaz movies. So I don't know what to tell you. So
Oh, don't get me started.
yeah,
How do I flex about knowing members of the Gorillas without flexing about knowing
just
members of
just
the
just throw
Gorillas?
it in there. Go for it.
Just throw it in there. So I am friends. I'm friends with the original drummer from the Gorillas,
Amazing.
and yeah, he's a very very well. Strictly speaking, he's my best friend's uncle, but we'll go into that another bit. Really nice man, but I met Hewitt through him, and Hewitt is well, I mean, he's a nerd. He's a massive nerd. He does all of the artwork and animation stuff. But I, if there was a Gorillas film that didn't get money
There's
somehow,
two. So the first was DreamWorks, and from what I can tell, that was a case of Jamie and Damon wanted to be much darker, and
yeah,
DreamWorks wanted it to be family friendly, and they couldn't meet in the middle, so it kind of got scrapped. Then
no.
Netflix picked it up, and
Oh,
Netflix were like, "Yeah, we understand the tone, 100%. Let's do it." And then I think that got something like 60% of the way through, and then Netflix were like, "Actually, we don't understand this. We're going to shelve it because we're stupid." So that is the world we live in, where there is no Gorillaz film, even though we should have like three by now. Having said that, Gorillaz just released an 8-minute short film, which is hand drawn animation. It's gorgeous. If you haven't seen it, go on their YouTube right now.
can I finish
It
doing the podcast with you first and then watch it?
yeah, but it took 6 months to make. You can see it. It's
Oh,
this gorgeous labor of love.
mm,
Features Black Thought. I think Bobby Womack is doing vocals on it as well. But just gorgeous and yeah, amazing. Go watch that.
amazing. Segue into Netflix, if we may.
Cool.
So I
Oh, I
was,
think I know what this is going to
you
be.
know where this is going.
Yeah.
So there were two of my favorite comics. Again, like ones which I've watched. Well, sorry, watched. I've read from one of them from day one. One I wasn't old. Was I old enough to read from day one? Pretty. I don't know. I'm in my late 30s. You know. So I am a huge fan of Joe Hill's Lock and Key. I have been for a very very long time. I would vehemently force people who came into the comic book shop I worked in to read this. I would find ways of segueing it into the conversation, even if it was massively unrelated to what they were looking for. I was going out of my way to make it so that Joe Hill had more money.
I'm so sorry to hear that you need surgery, but have you read Lock and Key?
It's like, oh, so you're looking for something for your 5-year-old niece. Have you thought about Lock and Key? That's all right. There's some really pretty pictures. Don't worry about that. Oh, no, it's fine. This follows the life story of these 3 children, their siblings. What happened to their dad? Don't
Don't
ask.
worry about
Fine.
it.
Um, Absolutely stunning story. It's essentially it personifies the integral like marriage between youth and magic, and how only with like the young child's youthful mindset can you perceive, explore, and experience magic. and it ties that in beautifully into like how it's only the children that find the keys in Key House, how it's only the children who can make this work, how the grown-ups don't, like they make their own reasons in the Netflix series as to why the grown-ups don't know, but like it's like, is there a reason why they age out of not really understanding these things? Is it an age thing? Is it a just not wanting to know thing? Do they have their memories taken away? Do they take them away on purpose? Who knows? I'm not spoiling. It's so different from the Netflix show. And there were things about the Netflix that I did enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Much like with Welcome to Derry, I was very impressed with a lot of the actors, like especially the youth actors, the child actors. The kid they got playing Bodhi was perfect.
You were. I was
He
going to
was,
say it's really interesting you mentioned Welcome to Day because I think there is a similar theme as well of
yeah.
that being aware of the danger, being aware of the magic, and an aging out of it.
Mm.
You know, and I think that speaks to like because when you're young, one of the scariest things in the world is getting older. It's this weird this you have this balancing act of half the time you want to be older because you get to do whatever you want and stay up as late as you can. No one can tell you
Yeah,
what to
I can
do,
have
right?
cake for breakfast,
Exactly. But then also a lot of the older people in your life are just super serious and they don't seem to be that happy. And
Mhm.
so yeah, when you couple that in with like also I'd lose my ability to be able to be in tune with magic, like why would I want that? That's
Yeah,
it's just terrifying.
sounds shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So I love the comic. The visuals for the film, like the Netflix show, how they did it. We'll talk just about season one. Season
Hmm.
one was okay. I was a little perturbed as how they changed a few things,
Okay.
but I wasn't as perturbed as I could be. Like,
Because it's really interesting because before we recorded this, we kind of gave each other a few hints
oh
of what
yeah,
we
we
want
had
to
a little
talk
heads
about.
up about what we're going to chat about.
And there's, I won't spoil one of your upcoming things, but there's two things that you mentioned that have been adapted to TV shows. This was
Mm.
one of them. The other, I'm just going to get off the bat now. I think the adaptation is far superior to the source material. But I was yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. But I was very surprised to hear you say you didn't like this or you weren't super fond of this because obviously I haven't read the book, but I was a really big fan of Lock and Key the show.
Mm. It was good. Like the first season was very it was very beautiful. It was very true to the nature of the comic book. It
Mm-hmm.
was very wonderful.
Yeah.
It was awe inspiring. It was wonderful. Like especially when they went inside each other's brains and like
Mm-hmm.
the way that they were always dictated as to being different worlds. Utterly stunning. That was done very beautifully and a really nice reimagining of how it is portrayed in the book,
Mm-hmm.
in the comic. However, I think there were some characters that had a massive disservice done for them.
Okay.
Um, I don't think Echo was menacing enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've seen the Netflix, but again, she's very menacing in the Netflix. She is way more menacing in here.
Okay.
And in a way, there's a lot of parallel towards the White Witch in the Narnia books,
Mm-hmm.
slash cinematic, I don't know, whichever one you've seen, in that it's very captivating. She sort of finds what she likes about, like, oh, you're missing kinship with your brother and sister. I know, I can be your friend. I could be your brother and your sister. Why don't I talk to you? I want to play with you. I want to hear about your Legos. And just sort of finding little endpoints of manipulation to then try and persuade their way out.
Yeah.
Very, very intriguing, but it's far more sinister in the book.
Okay.
Um, yeah, there's also arbitrary sex scenes in the next Netflix, which wasn't for me.
Were there? I might block
Yeah,
that out. Interesting. Okay.
no, I mean, I watched all of it from start to finish
Yeah.
because in for a penny, in for a pound, but I really should have stopped after season one because I was just really,
Mm.
I was very disappointed.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, beautifully done. However, that being said, again, like this is one of the few books where some people have gone, I won't read that because I hate the artwork. And I'm like, what? It's like, oh yeah, no, the art is ugly, therefore I won't read this amazing story. And I'm like, Makes me cross. I don't think
I
it's
I
ugly.
I understand. However, I can't judge those people because I have done the same myself.
You go, it's hideous. I don't want it. But I don't. I
Yeah, I'm
don't
an art guy, so when I look at
think
something I
it's
don't like it,
ugly.
I just have to find someone who's read, and I'm like, give me the broad strokes because I can't look at this thing.
This isn't very spoilery, but this isn't ugly. Surely it's a little brown, but
Yeah.
that might just be that page. It's fascinating. They,
But I have wanted to check out the books because, like I said, I really enjoyed the series and I love that concept. And I know it's had spin-offs and things as well in the book.
it's really good. You
So
should
yeah,
read it. Yeah. Should we do
Lock
the
and
other
Key
one?
is your next one.
Huh? Lock and key.
Yeah.
Are we going to do the other one, or are you going to go next,
I'll
or do
go
you want me to
next, and
get it
then you
out
can do
now?
the other one.
I'm gonna get
We will
it.
talk. We will talk.
We will talk, and I will be furious.
Okay. So my next recommendation from Image Comics is Rumble.
Mm.
And so Rumble is not actually a very novel concept. It is an ancient warrior, comes to modern times, and ends up meeting a guy from our time. And it's kind of the thing of like, I am destined to protect the realms and you are going to help me. And the modern guy's like, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to go on a date and feed my cat. Can you leave me alone? So you've seen it before, but like, it's the dialogue is so funny and the artwork, like, once again, for the people who are watching the visual, it's just cool and it's got weird creatures and just funny shapes. It is James Harron who
I was going
is
to ask
just
who the artist was on
yeah,
that
he's
one.
just awesome. I mean, like, look at this cat in this alleyway, just being big and fat.
Hey.
Um,
Oh.
yeah, how am I opening this? But yeah, just and the yeah, it's just I don't know what to say without spoiling it, but it's just got lots of great creature design. Um, it's just cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah, gorgeous colors, gorgeous inking, like lots of kind of like cross hatching, and it's just the world that like the more you get into it, there's just ghouls and goblins, and yeah, it's like really kinetic, and in the midst of it, you just have this guy who was, I don't want this. I just want to feed my cat. And you like keep making me hold swords and stuff. So that is the main guy there. Um, and yeah, he doesn't want any of it, but also he's fundamentally a good person. So when he learns the stakes of this and, what he's going to have to help, he begrudgingly does it because he's a good person and it kind of just makes you like him even more. Um, yeah, it's a couple of volumes now, and yeah, like what's great is that like the art just gets better and better as it continues. But yeah, Rumble is rad. Like, so if you like fantasy, especially with like a kind of urban, I'd say if you're a big fan of Hellboy 2, where they have that mix of
Ooh.
like the cityscape, but then also you've got elves and weird impish creatures, then yeah, this is for you. Rumble is friggin' awesome, and there's loads of big swords. Rumble. Okay, so let's get on to your next one.
All right. I have a feeling a fight's going to break out.
It might do.
I love this comic.
Yeah, it's not for me.
I love this comic. If I ever got the opportunity to meet Garth Ennis, I would ask him what the fuck was up with Crossed. Seriously, what's wrong with you? And also want to lick him because there's got to be something in his sweat that makes him like that. Guy's fucked in an awesome way. I love you, Garth. He's not watching this. I love you, Garth. You're amazing. So, the boys. I dogmatically adore the entire comic book series. And Dear Becky, I adore it. The whole thing, stunning, start to finish, amazing development, characterization, story. Uh, Anyone who has actually read it, my favorite bit is when Frenchie is bicycle jousting with baguettes. You know, tomfoolery, chuckle fuckery. We love it. I disliked the Amazon adaptation for telly. And the reason I disliked it is that they left things in that made no sense and they didn't change those things to make them make sense. I'll explain. Um, First and foremost, it's called the boys, and this is the female. That is what she's referred to as. She doesn't have a name in the thing. She's completely mute, and she is an assassin, serial killer type person.
But don't we think that's slightly problematic?
What? But they call her the female because they don't know her name. I mean,
She's the female, and she's the only one that doesn't speak. You know what I
no,
mean?
there are others that don't speak.
Okay, but you know what I mean. I think maybe that was for the best.
Maybe. I mean, giving her a name, yeah, all right, maybe. Giving her a voice doesn't make sense for her who she is and what she does. Like they've in the Amazon, they've sort of apologized for her being a badass. They've been like, "Oh no, it's okay. She's only like that because she was a traumatized, like child bride, so like thing got abducted or something, and she was in Vietnam, and it was all awful or something." I genuinely can't remember. My brain turned off at that point. They tried to sort of apologize for her. In this, like her mum was an office worker, and like her mum took her to work and she got into a vat of something she shouldn't have done. Very sort of classic superhero birth story of like, oh, I fell in a vat of toxic waste, and she just got into a bucket of stuff that she shouldn't have, came out as with super strength and superpowers, and that's it. As a baby, very Asterix style, fell into the vat of magic potion as a baby, and now she's a badass. Like they apologize for her. Like, oh, we have to explain that. Like, oh, there's a reason she's like this. And it's like, well, why can't she just be awesome?
She can, but then I think, and it's no fault of Garth Ennis, but I feel like, especially at this point in history when so many things have been adapted, there is often, oh hey, here's the straight white guy, and he has a world of depth, and his trauma is explained, and his motivations are explained. But then here's woman, and woman can kick. We know explain who woman is as person. Woman can kick. Woman kick good. So I think it was just trying to be like, maybe we make her a well-rounded actual personality with thoughts and feelings and motivations and a backstory, and maybe we make her a person other than just kicking women, because sexy women kick good.
I like that you're a feminist, and that makes me cross. So that is a very good point.
Listen, when it comes to Ennis, right? When it comes to Ennis, I feel like he has a scale, and I feel like one end of that scale is pure genius. I'm looking at you, Preacher. I'm looking at you, Punisher. Welcome back, Frank. Right?
Yeah.
His Punisher work, incredible. A lot of his other Marvel stuff, incredible. Starman's incredible too. The Boys for me is just real edgelords. We're gonna say the F word a lot. And hey, look, there's a penis for no reason. And if you turn the page, someone has said mother effer. And like, a guy eats a baby for no reason. I just don't.
Well, he eats the baby because he's hungry.
And for me, the TV show, the things that I really didn't like about the book, like the Black Noir, makes way much more sense in the TV show.
Okay, I will give you that.
Like they couldn't have adapted it that way. You just would have been like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, that
like there is the one thing I will give it. It is kind of funny watching Homelander lose his mind. Like, wait, did I do this stuff? Like, I know I'm insane, but am I that insane? Like, that is fun in the book. But generally, there's just so much stuff that like doesn't work thematically or pacing wise. It just really feels like he writes himself into a corner of, I've now made the stakes this big. What is the most offensive thing I can do? And yeah, I just that's not fun to me. It was fun at certain points of Preacher, but by the point I think I'd been reading his stuff when I got to The Boys, I was just done. I was just like, okay, I get it. They have allowed you to say penis. Well done. Is there a story here, though? Are there stakes? Are you trying to say something about society? Are you trying to say something about superhero literature? Are you trying to say something about toxic masculinity? Are you trying to say something about systemic racism? Or do you just like penises? Which, you know what? More power to you if you do like penises. But that's not the story for me, okay?
Why not both. Why can't he bringing a torch to the problems of systemic racism and like penises?
I
The
don't
two
think he
aren't
was though. I just think he was bringing a torch to penises,
okay.
and it just
I
wasn't for me.
will back to my previous rant. So the female on one side, I will accept. Yes, giving her a voice and giving her a backstory does kind of bring her makes her more human, and feminism is important. And yes, I'm a girl's girl. However, one thing I can't forgive is MM.
He's pretty badass in the TV show.
Oh, he is incredibly badass in the TV show. He, in fact, casting wise, he is perfect. Attitudes wise, he is perfect. That shouldn't be his name though. His name is Mother's Milk. The reason it's called Mother's Milk, and this isn't a spoiler, this has been out for 1,000 years, it's fine, is he needs to keep drinking his mother's breast milk or he will waste away. It's basically to top him up a little bit like Asterix and the Magic Potion.
But in the TV show, they've got the first season, they've got Homelander doing the mother's breast milk thing. So I think if you had two characters who were constantly drinking breast milk, it might be like, is this just the breast milk show? Is that what this is?
Know. Well, that's the thing. Homelander didn't need to. It's not literally his name. It was just arbitrarily stuffed in there just to show that this little prick has mummy issues. Like Mother's Milk, if he doesn't, he just turns into a shell, like sort of shell skeletal man. And you've got this hip flask and he's always sipping from it, but he doesn't drink alcohol. What's in the hip flask? And then it is revealed like, oh, he's literally drinking sips of his mother's breast milk, and his brother has to as well. And if he doesn't, he wastes away. There's also the factor that they didn't give any of the boys superpowers until way later. And I'm like, that's insane. Like, this is, at least in the book, I can't remember if it's MI5 or CIA, one or the other, government special agency thing, hiring a bunch of essentially civilians to spy and monitor superheroes, to watch the Watchmen. And they're expecting them in the Amazon series to do this without superpowers? Like, the fuck? In this, like 4 minutes in to joining the group, they give him, like, they give wee Stewie a shot in the ass and they turn him into a superhero. And it's permanent. It's not like, oh, they become addicts to this sort of stuff in the end. No, it's just that, there you go, you're a superhero now. Well done. Congratulations. It seems far-fetched. I know it's a telly show about superheroes, but still, even in the premise, it seems far-fetched that the CIA would send a whole bunch of civilians in to fight superheroes with absolutely nothing and zero funding. And no, not for me.
Fair enough.
Sorry,
I didn't win a rain all over your pitch. I am deeply with the boys.
You hate them. It's fine. It's not for everybody. It really isn't. It really isn't.
But what I would say is, like I said before, Ennis has a deep catalogue full of bangers. Their entire run of Preacher is fantastic. I don't think the TV show did it anywhere near the justice it deserved. His work on Punisher is fantastic. And I actually will say the first Punisher movie, well, the first 2000s Punisher movie, which is based on his run, whilst not being spectacular, it's good for the stuff that he influenced. So he is not a person who I have a problem with. I just think at his worst, he's a bit.
Don't read Cross.
He's like Mark Miller in that respect. That like Mark Miller, when Mark Miller is firing all cylinders, is fantastic. Yeah. But when Mark Miller, gets a bit self-indulgent.
Are we going to talk about how Mark Miller can't draw feet at any point?
He doesn't draw.
No, who am I thinking of?
Rob Liefeld is who you're thinking of.
Yeah, I think everyone.
And we should always take every opportunity to laugh at the fact that Rob Liefeld can't draw feet, and yet he insists on drawing characters with feet.
Yeah, and it's like he'll very cleverly put a rock just in, like, the pose.
Yeah. Or Superman just happens to be going behind that cloud at that very moment in time.
You're like, what a surprise! Oh, shocking. Intriguing that you didn't like The Boys.
Yeah, sorry. It never. I think I was still working at a comic book store when it came out, and it was so hyped. and I did not get it at all.
When did this bitch come out? I didn't read it on initial release. I think I was when? Hang on. It's Dynamite 2000. Oh, it's 2013.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I probably was
It was
working in a
way
comic book
later
store at
than I
that
thought
time.
it was. No, I was also working in a comic book shop when that came out, but I didn't read it on release. Must not have appealed at that point. Tell you what, I did read on release. No,
Okay.
I'll let you go first.
Okay.
It's your turn next,
So
and then I'll do it. I've got
I
so many
might
books
go
in there.
into my first of my big two,
Mm.
which is DC Comics 100 Bullets.
Mm.
So 100 Bullets is very simple premise. You are a person who's been wronged in your life at some point, and then a mysterious stranger comes up to you with an untraceable gun and 100 bullets and says, "Here you go. You can do whatever you want and get your revenge." And so every episode plays out, every issue plays out with us watching different people and what they do in that scenario. As the story goes on, there is a wider story. There's like an overarching backstory. It's like, ooh, who is facilitating this? And, who is this mysterious man? I'll be honest with you, that's the most boring part of it. But it is gorgeous. Brian Azzarello wrote it. Eduardo Rizzo did the art. He's incredible. I'm actually waiting on an Eduardo Rizzo book that I ordered like a year ago that I'm still waiting to come out. But his artwork is just gorgeous. Yeah, like it's just the most incredible. But one thing I will say is it features lots of people who aren't white, written by a very white person. Um,
Oh,
yeah, and so there's like a lot of just like people don't talk like
what's
that.
that done?
Yeah, exactly how you think it's done. Like
Okay.
they'll spell words a certain way so that you pronounce them out loud and you feel bad reading it.
Mm.
But other than the problematic way that a lot of these people are written, it's just gorgeous. And like it's almost anthology, so you're only ever really with most of these characters for an issue at a time. Most of them don't even make it through the issue,
Okay.
spoiler alert. But it's just all these people are so well realized, and you kind of with through lines of dialogue you get a sense of who they are, what their backstory is. And it's interesting because one thing that's you when you first introduce these people, you kind of think you automatically know how they're going to handle the challenge of like, are they going to get their revenge or whatever? But not everyone goes the way you think they would. So 100 Bullets, I highly recommend it. And I'm really surprised it's not been turned into a TV show with that premise. But there you go. What do I know?
I mean, I don't know. They probably whitewash it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, is it? So when you said it was written by a very white person, but essentially had an awful lot of like people of color in like the characterizations, I was thinking in my head, I was like, oh, was this done like the Wizard of Earth's storyline with have you Ursula Gwynn? Have
I
you
don't know what
read
that
these
is.
books? Oh, a bunch of books. They came out in the '60s, written by
Okay.
this amazing woman.
So like
Who
it's
wrote
not terrible, but essentially like let's say you might have two black guys. There's kind of like a lot of yo, what you do, my man? You better back up, and it's just kind of like
Oh,
there's a bunch of street slang that like this book is like 20 years old, and a lot of the
oh
slang in
yikes!
it was probably old by the time it was published. And it's just like it's not so for anyone who's watching this, whoever watched WWE when Vince McMahon was in charge, the way
Yeah.
Vince McMahon used to write black people, that's how Brian Azzarello writes black people. You just kind of have to roll your eyes and get through it. It's just like that's what a white person thinks a cool black person is.
I'm getting generational like white guilt now with this.
But
It's pretty
honestly, don't let that stop you. You'll cringe a few pages an issue, but
like
genuinely, it's so well written and it's so beautifully drawn that you get on with it.
you just gotta power through
Yeah,
the
just
cringe
just
and the
power through
white
the
guilt.
casual racism and you'll be fine.
Oh yikes!
The
Big
name of my
yikes!
autobiography. What is
Oh
your
no.
recommendation?
Oh right. Well, I mean, I'm very aware of the time now. I don't know how long we've been at this, so I've got a mountain here.
Okay, get through
This
like three. We'll
get
maybe
through
speed
three.
run them.
Okay, we'll speed run through them. We will do my baby first. So, The Ballad of Halo Jones. This
Incredible.
is Alan Moore, mini serial released through 2000 AD from 1984. It is incredible, sort of following this woman. She's an every woman, and it's her life story. For like, I think it follows the first series. She's like 18, maybe 19, like a late teenager, and it's essentially a misadventured shopping trip, but through this incredible, somewhat dystopian future where everything in this world is fanciful and kind of awful and incredible and chaotic, but it's Tuesday for her. So you're following her, trying to get from one end of what's referred to as the hoop, which is where they live. It's essentially one piece of land around America through the Atlantic Ocean, which is still above water, sea level, because everything's been dipped below the polar ice caps, you know, because global warming. And yes, we've known about it for a hot minute, kids. Sorry, I'll keep my politics to one side for a minute.
Listen, you rant on. I'm right there with
Rant
you.
away. But yeah, she's just like, oh damn it, I really need food. Oh, but the shops are over that way, over the highway, and they're like 6 hours away. But if we don't go, it's gonna be a shit show. And she's got a robot dog, because why the fuck not? and and there's a whole thing about a cult of people who have addicted to this implant that essentially creates a drum beat through their eardrums. They're referred to as drummers, and they just nod their heads and tap their feet to like a unison, but then they become psychically connected. And you're looking at them, it's just like, oh my god, that's awful. And she just walks by them like they were hobos underneath Waterloo Bridge. And you're like, yes, that's how it would be. Like, if you're just a 19-year-old girl trying to get, I don't know, from one end of the street to the other, or from like central London back home to Peckham or Hackney, wherever the fuck you live, then yeah, you're going to pass some difficult characters. You might pass a few people suffering with addiction and homelessness, but you're not in a physical or mental state or financial state to help them, so you walk past them. And yes, you do get she does get a pang of guilt for these people, but ultimately she's like, I can't afford to get involved with you.
Yeah.
And on one hand, you're like, this is an awful dystopian nightmare. And on the other hand, she's like, yeah, that's Tuesday. And it's absolutely fascinating. I won't explain exactly why she ends up leaving Earth and going to become a receptionist, I think is the best way of putting it, on a space station. But
When you're talking about a story where the rich are getting richer, the environment is in a terrible state, getting worse every day, and then there's a massive part of the population who are just using entertainment to escape, and you just having to power through that. I mean, I don't know how any of us could possibly
I'd get
associate
off
with
the
any of
planet
those
too.
themes. Like, yeah, doesn't seem
It's
relevant
all,
today at all.
it's not even remotely relevant. And this was written in 1984. That was years ago.
Yeah,
Anyway, Alan Moore, you're a fucking genius.
it is.
Really good. Fascinatingly, when I did start working at Raygun a million years ago, 2012, I started working there. Halo Jones was one of the things in my homework. My mate who owned the place handed me a massive stack of books and was like, you need to read these. I was like, okay, why? He's like, because you do. Here you go read them. And there was like Secret Wars was in there, and Ballad of Halo Jones was in there. There was a whole
So
bunch
it's
of like,
funny you said that. I nearly recommended Secret War, which is when did Secret War come out? So for those that whenever you say Secret War, everyone goes, "Oh, don't you mean Secret Wars?" And wasn't Secret Wars. It was Secret War. It's awesome. Let me see if I can find it. I think Bendis wrote it. Bendis. So for those that don't know, Brian Michael Bendis is the man that co-created Miles Morales. He created Jessica Jones, and he did a
oh,
story called Secret War, which was 2004. Him and an artist called Gabriel Delotto, painted, but just like it's all painted. It's gorgeous, and basically, Spider-Man, Luke Cage, Wolverine, Black Widow, and Daredevil are on a mission, and they all start getting like fragments of memories they have, and over the story, you essentially realize that they did something terrible, and then Nick Fury just wiped their memory, and so you get fragments of that secret war that they were sent on behalf of him. And it's just great on all fronts. It's like it's one of the best characterizations of God, what's her name now? She is Kobe Smulders plays her in the MCU. Kobe Smulders MCU. Maria Hill. Yeah, it's one of Maria Hill's best stories. It is such a good Nick Fury story because they kind of hint at it in the MCU, but one of my favorite aspects of Nick Fury is he's just a shitbag. He just uses people and he's horrible and he doesn't care about you. He would just use your ability. And then when you're like, hey, you made me commit an act of terrorism, he's just like, who, me? I'm just Nick Fury. I don't know anything. And that's like my favorite part about him. He's just a massive piece of shit. Like he's the worst. I live for stories where people hunt him down and they're like, hey, stop being terrible. And he's like, I don't want to though. I just like killing
I'm
people and I
so
like
good
manipulating
at it.
governments and I'm awful and I'll just keep being awful. And it's your fault for trusting me. And like, he's my favorite character. He's amazing. He's just a scumbag. And in this story, like there's literally a period without trying to ruin it for anyone, but there's a panel where Wolverine just is like, I'm gonna murder you. I'm actually going to murder you. And Nick Fury being Nick Fury, he gets out of it. So Secret War, that wasn't going to be one of the things I recommended, but you reminded me. So yeah, go find Secret War. It's so good.
Mhm. I can't even remember what I was talking about now. Never mind. Not a minute. Have you? I've. Okay, so I've got 4. Shall I
Cool.
pick 2?
Pick 2.
Okay, I'll pick the one which I'm hoping which I know you're hoping I will pick, which I'll put here. And then I will say, do we want something more dystopian
Because don't
capitalism?
forget, we can always do like a whole bunch of other
Oh,
volumes of
round 2.
this. So yeah, we can just come back.
I
Yeah.
could always go to. I like we got dystopian capitalism, cloning people, very stylized psychic police officer who hates everything and everyone, or what a healthy relationship between 2 very very beautiful women, drawn impeccably, looks like. They just happen to be very kinky, and yet somehow this book is not about the sex. I'm gonna go for that one.
Let's do that. Yeah,
Let's do
I
that.
was gonna say let's end on like a positive note, and I'm going
Uh,
with a bit of kink.
so, which one do you want first?
Uh, you pick. Buyer's choice.
We'll do Sunstone
Cool.
first because we'll end on Sex Crimes because I know you've read it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's so good.
It's
Okay,
incredible.
Sunstone. So I'm not even going to pretend that I know how to pronounce this man's name. I think that's Stefan. Can you? I don't know.
Stefan
Can you?
Sejic?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend I know how to pronounce that. This man, you know how most male comic book illustrators and authors have never met a woman.
I'm looking at you, Greg Land.
Well, yeah. I mean, authors. I'm looking at you, Stephen Moffat. Never met a woman. Never met one. I swear this man has met every woman and or is one. Uh, he just has this capability to draw women that look like women.
Nice.
They are stunning. Oh my goodness. Alison, for example. Oh. The premise: a lovely lady who I'm pretty certain she's a software engineer has an online girlfriend who they met playing an MMO together, and they've gone out of their way. They sort of have realized that they are compatible, and they're into the same sort of kinky shenaniganery. She's like, oh, do you want to meet up in real life? We can just have a coffee or something, see if we want to be like more physically, in person, or if you just like the role playing online, that's fine too. I respect your boundaries. And girlfriend is like, yeah, no, we can meet up for a coffee. And Alison's being like, yeah. She calls her bestie, who's like, I need you to make me a bed. just in case. He's like, what do you mean you need me to make you a bed? I need you to make me a bed, but it needs like a whole underbed rope pulley system so that
Oh,
if
you mean physically create a bed? I thought you meant just
no,
like make sure the bed was presentable.
no. Physically create a bed with an under rope pulley system so that if slash when these two have great vibes and she gets her home,
They are
she
thoroughly
can
prepared.
tie her up in every way she would love, and it's a very beautiful, consensual, stunning, communicative BDSM relationship between these women who look and behave like actual people, and it's utterly stunning. It's everything that 50 Shades of Grey wasn't.
Nice.
It is just so beautiful. It gives such wonderful insight, not only into the nature of a same-sex relationship, but also in a relationship within the kink community, where it's not spanking, la la la. It's more about communication and care and sort of exchanging of fantasy. Like, it's not just I am the dominant and therefore I'm going to do everything that I want, blah blah blah. It's not that. And it is beautifully articulated in this book. It also touches upon like the nature of being friends with your exes and how that can sometimes not be so great. And sometimes it works out fine. But I think here we go. So there's a beautiful sort of post, whatever the female equivalent of post nut clarity is, where they've had essentially an entire weekend in and out of each other, and then they're sort of sat there having a cuddle, and she's just brushing her hair for her, and it's this beautiful sort of intimate aftercare where it's not just about like, yes, I mean, like 4 panels beforehand, she had her attached to the side of a wall and was doing all manner of things. But in this panel, like, she's brushing her hair and she's like just being very sweet and delicate and giving her a shoulder rub and checking in with her and making sure she's okay. And it's gorgeous. It's, yeah, wish my girlfriends were like that.
It's really nice to hear because it's like it's when we first decided to do this, there were a few books that I wanted to recommend, but the thing that held me back from a lot of them is gorgeous artwork, great characters, but a lot of them are from the early 2000s, and a lot of them are cliffhanger top cow books where it's like every
Oh, yeah,
woman
this
is
is
always
Top
in a
Cow.
state of undress for no reason. Yeah, top cow.
I mean, they're in a relatively large state of undress, but that's for a very good reason.
Yeah, whereas with a lot of other Top Cow books, it's not. It's just, oh, you're a woman, so you must be half naked. It's not relevant to the story in any way. And so, obviously, I want new readers to enjoy these books. And I think it really is a thing where I feel like if you have to constantly be like, those were the times, maybe just don't recommend the thing.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I'm gonna move the piece of paper covering my face so that I can make sure I angle this properly. We'll see this page here, like this panel. Like, she's just got clarification that she's going to see her girlfriend, and she's calling her bestie, being like, oh my god, she's coming over. And this is a person.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be very honest, I am this woman. Like, just sitting there getting giddy and excited, just like nibbling at her pillow, being like, oh my god, she's coming over, squeak. Just ringing her bestie, who's like, I don't know what you want from me, girly. And then she comes round to him with a sketch for a bed I had an idea for, and he's a carpenter. She's like, please, I need another. Yes, highly recommend.
Okay.
Only if you are over the age of 18, as there are some very explicit panels in here. Sorry. Moving that, putting that to one side. Yes, it's very explicit, but if you're over 18 and you want to read a genuinely beautiful love story between 2 consenting, beautiful women, yeah, go
Amazing.
for it.
I'm going to speed run through mine because I want to talk about yours. Okay. And we'll do this again. We'll do another episode. This is episode 1.
Okay, we'll do more.
But I just want to quickly say, for those that haven't read Mike
X-Force, I love X-Force.
read X-Force. because Dupe is the best character in the world. These guys are essentially, they're not your granddad's X-Men. They are reality TV show stars. They're not really in the superhero biz for the right reason. They all just want to have sex with each other and be famous, and that goes about as well as you'd expect. And it's just gorgeously drawn. It's really sharp dialogue. It was from a time when Marvel were actually really losing ground to Image and Dark Horse. And so they did a few books trying to be edgy, and a lot of them were just very cringeworthy. But this was actually like, no, when you respect your audience and you are a bit more daring with it, you can create something that really stands out from everything else on the rack. So it's just like gorgeous art from Allred as usual. He's been in the game for so long and he just gets better with every year. But this is just, it's just so fun and it's just gorgeous to look at. And it's a bunch of really, I was actually going to say likable characters. A lot of them are assholes, but in the best, most readable, compelling way. And yeah, they're kind of a team that you root for in spite of themselves. So Mike Allred's X-Force, get on that. I will talk about it more in detail next time we do this. But yeah, Dupe is the future, and I really hope he somehow makes it to the MCU at one point, because Dupe is the person.
Dupe's your man.
Dupe is the thing. We love Dupe.
Okay, we love Dupe.
Let's talk about the criminals.
So we have both read this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how far have you got through this? Because I've only gotten through the third trade. So
I got to about the second trade.
Okay, so I finished the third trade. Do you want to start? Actually, I've talked so much.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
These guys are probably sick of my voice by now.
No, go ahead.
Sex criminals. Reader's Digest version, I guess, would be a young woman finds out that when she achieves orgasm, she stops time. She then uses this to her advantage later on when she finds a gentleman who is similarly inclined, and they think, let's use this power to rob a bank in order to get enough money to save her local public library. That's the premise of the first book. Yeah. So they have sex in the public bathroom of the bank. Time freezes, they rob the bank, and they pay off the debts for the public library. But they also get up to some other shenanigans, because it turns out if you can freeze time and you do so by having an orgasm, you're going to get up to some very serious mischief. And there's a whole tie-in where the female main character looks very similar to the gentleman counterpart's favorite porn star. So they go to one of those sort of peep booth thingies to check out one of the videos, and there's a whole thing there. But I think most fantastically, in the whole... Hang on one second, I'll see if I can find the panel. The authors didn't get permission from Queen to use fat-bottom girls in their panels. So when there is a karaoke scene where the main character is dancing on a table, jumping up on a pool table, singing fat-bottom girls, here we go. Instead of having the actual lyrics, it has these post-it notes of, we did this gag of little post-it notes, the scene would still play out okay, but we didn't get permission from Queen to use the lyrics in the comic book, and we didn't have enough time or money to get the litigation in charge. So they've gone into full depth in these little post-it notes.
Explaining why you're not singing. When they could just come up with any other song.
Well, I mean, on one hand, like, yeah, maybe pick a different song. On the other hand, this is really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, my cat's waking up. I know he's all right. Very funny. This is one thing I would like to see adapted.
So it's going to be a TV show. And you know Kamel Nujani?
No, who's that?
He is a very funny comedian. He stars in The Eternals. He is amazing in Silicon Valley. But yeah, he's going to be playing John.
Oh!
Yeah. And he's hilarious. He's very, very funny. In fact, he's currently doing a stand-up, which is all about his experience with Marvel. Because obviously he like changed his life. He got super ripped. He got super jacked. And then Marvel just like not called him back. So like I'm just jacked for no reason. I just don't have a job. Just jacked and unemployed. Thanks.
Jacked and just hanging out now. Yeah. That's so sad. Because like abs are hard.
Well, the thing is, he said like he's gone on this horrible diet where he's eating stuff he doesn't like. He's like got these hours because he has to wake up at like 5 o'clock. And then he said basically, once he lost the job, he went online and all these nerds were like ripping him. And he's like, why are you making fun of me for being in shape? So now he's just staying in shape to like spite those people, even though
Just
he
like
doesn't
really
want
pissed
to
them
be
off.
in shape.
Like,
Um,
fuck you guys.
but yeah, so hopefully they'll do a great job of adapting it. For those who knows about Chip Zdarsky but maybe they don't know about this. This is some of his best work, and it's just there's this gorgeous, like, the lines aren't super heavy. There's a softness to it. They play with a lot of like lighting effects, and I feel like a subject matter like this, you can make it really crude, but as corny as it sounds, they do really make you feel like when you're with that person, time stands still, and it's just a gorgeous way of visualizing that. Um, it's a premise that when you introduce to people, you find yourself giggling and they start giggling, but really they do the classiest and smartest and most imaginative version of this premise you can imagine. And you kind of see that it's got multiple trades, and you think, how could this premise go on for that long? But the way they keep expanding upon it and the way these characters grow and learn and change is just so good. So
It's really
yeah,
beautiful.
if you haven't read Sex Criminals, I recommend you read Sex Criminals.
Although it's kind of difficult to order
Yeah.
because of the title. It wasn't not great there, Matt and Chip. Like, very seriously, boys. Um, although
Is it
fascinating.
available on the horrible conglomerate that we all support, even though we shouldn't? It is. It's $10.99 on the horrible conglomerate that we support. And crazy
Well,
enough, the one I'm looking right now, there's only one in stock, so people are still buying it, which is good.
which are we talking about? The really horrible one online, or the giant? I don't know which. The fact that I
The
have to get you
giant
to
one that the
specify,
the bald headed loser is in charge of.
yeah,
Yeah.
as the fact that I had to get you to specify which capitalist nightmare you were just talking about is just really, really,
Oh
truly
yeah.
awful.
Take your pick.
If you can go to a small comic book shop or anywhere, do
100%.
and go.
Because there's not many of them left.
I can recommend some comic book shops. I know some great ones, although they are very much limited to where am I? Am I southwest or southeast London? I can't remember.
What is Richmond? Is it even
I
London?
don't know. What even is it? Like, it's the butt end of the district line.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah,
what is
check out Raygun. Is Raygun still around, right?
Raygun is still around,
Yeah, check out Raygun.
although the hours are significantly shortened due to, the world. I can also highly recommend Piranha Comics in Kingston. They are
Amazing.
very nice in there. They have a great selection, especially since they've opened up a much larger location. They've got more of their backlogs up.
Amazing.
They've also got more of their back issues out now as well, because they had a huge backlog of back issues, but no space. Now they've got loads of space, so you can just probably have a flick through. Lovely.
I was going to recommend Mega City, but they're not Mega City anymore. They are Forbidden Planet Camden, which is very weird. But
That is
support
weird.
comic book stores, I guess.
Yeah. Although, if you can avoid Forbidden Planet, please do. Sorry, Forbidden
Sorry.
Planet. You're going to have to pay me if you want me to say that you're good.
Yeah, you guys should sponsor us. Okay.
Yeah, sponsor me.
So we're on to the portion of the show where we tell you what we have been listening, listening to, watching, which is what's really good. So, do you want to start? Should I start? You pick.
I mean, like, the thing I've been watching has been around for forever, so it's really good, but a lot of people already know it's really good, and that's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure,
Cool.
specifically Part 4. I'm a massive nerd, as you might have noticed.
No way.
No, right? I know, shocking. Don't let these tits fool you. And I had been told, especially as an anime fan, like, I've been told by everyone, oh, you have to read JoJo, you have to watch JoJo, you're going to love it, oh my god, And the more someone tells me to do something, the less likely I am going to do it. Yeah. It's like, nah, it's like the easiest way to get me to not do something. So I went 20 years not reading or watching any of the JoJo's until now. And the way my hilarious husband sold it to me is, you like puns? And I was like, well, yes, I do like puns. And it's like, you like puns and intriguing characters, excellent artwork, avant-garde storytelling, and chuckle fuckery. I was like, I like all of these things. Yes, do continue. Like, what about very beautiful men? I love beautiful men. Say less, King. What is it? What are we watching? And he's like, we're watching JoJo Part 4. And I was like, no, no, no. He's like, no, 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 no. You're going to have to trust me on this one. I was like, okay, fine. And then we started watching it. And I was like, yeah, you got a point.
So for a newcomer, can they start at part 4? Will they like get it?
So the basic premise is very, very easy to pick up. It's they are individual chapters with some overlapping characters, from what I gather. But I'm starting from part 4 without any problems. Occasionally, my husband will just give me some like lore from the corner, be like, "Oh yeah, that's so and so's grandpa." Be like, "Oh, that's actually his distant cousin once removed, but you don't find that out until part 7." I'm just like, "Okay, darling,
Cool.
I love you." Is that strictly relevant? And he's like, no, no, no. And then he'll go off on like a lovely info dump about how actually the reference there is to a Pink Floyd album, which I knew you'd love because you love Pink Floyd. But it's meant to be this, but they didn't get permission in the English translation from the band, so they had to call it that instead. And I was like, that's really entertaining, actually. They're more like that. He's like, yes, it's the same with all of these other like names for these punch ghosts, which are all based off of albums. I'm like, that's absolutely fascinating. So yeah, as long as you have a lore dump monkey or you're capable of opening the internet and googling things you might not be certain about, yeah, it's a great place to start. The
Cool.
art is bonkers. The soundtrack is insane. I like the funkiest slap bass you'll ever hear in your life.
Nice.
Utterly gorgeous, and possibly one of the most despicable bad guys in the world.
Nice.
Like, a show is only as interesting as their most evil guy. And I'm like, oh, he really interesting.
Cool.
Fascinating. So yes, I recommend part 4. I'm about 2/3 of the way through. And then hubby's gonna make me watch part 7 next. We're skipping 5 and 6 apparently. Okay. And we skipped 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, you can pick and choose and jump about, apparently.
Fair enough.
I'm fine with this. But yeah, I've been watching JoJo Part 4 and I've been loving it.
Cool. So I've been rewatching 2 of my favorite series.
Tell me.
The first is Kevin Can Go Fuck Himself.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, so Kevin Can Fuck Himself is amazing. So if you're around our age, you would have grown up with the typical American sitcoms like Married with Children, My Wife with Kids, which all revolve around this just lazy, selfish, straight white man who like just makes his life a living hell. So Kevin Can Fuck Himself is shot like that whenever Kevin's in the scene. So you got a laugh track, these bright studio lights, multi-camera setup. But then whenever Kevin leaves, it flashes to his wife's perspective. And it's now shot like an HBO drama, like dramatic lighting. You know, you can see all the wrinkles, you can see. And it's basically like, what is it actually like to live for someone who's that selfish? You know, it's all fun and games to be like, hey, honey, I organized the party with my boss and you have to go and buy all the supplies and do all the cooking. Oh, Kevin. Like, it's like, no, actually, her hair is falling out. She is losing her mind. He's like breaking stuff constantly that she has to replace. He's inviting people to parties she has to organize. Like, it's just continuously building. And every time he's in the scene, everyone's like, oh, Kevin. But she's like smashing glasses because she can't live with the stress. And it's just this really interesting examination of why did we let these people be the lead characters and things for so long? Because they're horrible, vapid representations of toxic masculinity, and it's just this really clever flip of that. But what's really amazing is that the scenes he's are in are they're actually written like straight as 90 sitcoms. So the whole episode will have this stupid storyline that, you know, like, oh no, Kevin's invited 2 people at the same time and she needs to intercept it and she needs to entertain his boss and stuff. But then in between those scenes will be her real life, her just trying to get through her day, her trying to clean up his mess, her trying to live up to her own ambition and be her own fulfilled person. And it's so well acted, and it's brilliant. I wish more people knew about it.
Where can you watch it?
So I don't know if it ever aired in the UK. I'm watching on a Captain Jack Sparrow website. But
I see.
You can find it somewhere. It's really good.
I have a friend who is looking for the One Piece, who can probably find it for me. So what's
There you
it
go.
called again?
Kevin can, Kevin can fuck himself.
Okay, right. Just texting. Kevin can go fuck himself. Tight. Right. Yes.
And then
My friend who sails the high seas can procure
amazing.
that for me.
And then I rewatched the last season of Smiling Friends because heartbreakingly, Smiling Friends is no more. If you haven't watched Smiling Friends, please watch it. One of the most innovative TV shows of the past decade. Beautifully animated, some of the best guest stars and cameos. Just fun and written by people who are clearly having fun, written by people who love animation and want to show what animation as a medium can do, how fluid it can be, how adaptable it can be. Just great. It's just weird and fun. And in a day and age when you have so many corporations just recycling IP and being like, oh hey, let's take AI and just make slop. The fact that Adult Swim were just like, hey, if you guys want to tell this really weird story where one scene can be claymation and then the next scene is like 8-bit game graphics, and then in the next scene a giant frogman is swearing at Jimmy Fallon, here you go, have fun. And the fact that, and here's the thing I hate about it is the thing I really respect, and the thing I hate is that it's ending. But I really respect the fact the creators were like, we don't have a story left to tell, and we don't want to just be here doing this for 20 seasons to make money. We want to do it as long as it feels fun to do, and as long as there's a story to tell. And they've just come to the point where it's not fun to do anymore, so they quit. And I have so much respect for that, and I wish them the best of luck. But if you've never watched Smiling Friends, please watch Smiling Friends. It's on Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, and a lot of the episodes, full episodes, are on YouTube. It's so fun. Each episode's like 12 minutes as well, so it doesn't even take up that much of your time. But yeah, Smiling Friends, love it.
Dope.
Cool. I don't even know what the next episode is going to be about. Lizzie and I will text each other at some point during the week.
We'll message me like, what are you obsessed with right now?
Yeah, we'll figure something out. But
I don't know. I could talk about classic games if you like.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Lizzie's going to talk about some classic
games. Talk about my absolute romantic obsession with Garrus Vakarian from the Mass Effect series.
Okay.
You probably don't want me talking about Garrus Vakarian.
That would be like a side episode.
Me just sitting there being like, and here's another reason why he's amazing.
Okay, so next week we'll talk classic games.
We'll talk, let's educate these Zoomers and Alphas on how things were before the console genres come in. You kids
with your
don't
Steam
know
Decks.
With your Steam Deck.
That is gold dust right now. Good luck to anyone getting a Steam Deck in 2026. What a sad state of affairs we are.
Mine was a Valentine's Day present.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so
right.
If you are listening, thank you once again. We appreciate it. As always, hit us up on the socials. Tell us what you'd like to hear. Tell us what you feel about the episode. Are there any amazing graphic novels we missed out on that you'd like to tell people? We are going to do this again. I actually have a guest in mind for a future episode, but we will do this again. We will recommend the stuff you should be reading, the stuff you should be playing, the stuff you should be watching. Thank you for listening. We love you. We'll see you. Peace. I think that was a bit of a